So today I have the honor of doing a podcast with one of my good friends, Josh Messias. He is not the Messiah, but he is Messias. I've known him for a long time. Dude, middle school maybe. I've probably known you since you were in middle school.
First time we played basketball together.
Yeah. Down in South Florida, probably, I don't know if it was Pompano or Boca.
Terramar Park.
Parkland, that's right.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Yeah, that was a while back. But so I've known Josh a long time. Great guy. How old are you?
28 years old. Just turned 28 a couple weeks ago.
Let's go. 28. He recently celebrated his birthday by having a really cool event that we're going to talk about here in a second. So he's 28. He's been doing this really cool thing, I think, that's really cool on Instagram. And it's like he started this channel specifically around golfing. Now, give me a little bit of detail about it. Was it just golfing, or was it like golfing with an intention of like talking about something?
It definitely started as just golf, and just, I guess, like as a creative outlet. I always wanted to make content, but I never knew what to do. I didn't want to just talk in front of a camera, and I don't know. I saw golf as an opportunity of something I love doing, and I know a lot of people love doing, and so I just saw it as a way to just connect with more people. And so definitely started off with just doing silly videos and hitting golf shots, but hopefully it'll grow into something bigger than that.
That's pretty cool. So he's been doing this golf channel on Instagram. Do you have any other platforms that you're on?
I do Instagram, TikTok. Gonna eventually get into more of the YouTube space as well, long form content as well.
Yeah, sure. You'll get a lot of bites from this that you can throw on there as well. So it'd be great. So Instagram, TikTok, and then another platform later, maybe YouTube. But content's great. If you haven't seen it yet, what is the plug for it on Instagram? What's the @
That is at Messy Golfer on Instagram and TikTok as well.
Perfect. And again, great content. Some funny, actually a lot of funny content of like fail content or like just your wife is judging you content, which is amazing. He posts pretty regularly. I'd say like once a day.
Try to.
You know, he's pretty consistent with it as well. But the one thing I really want to talk about today is he did a tournament.
A tournament.
I like saying tournament.
I'm a tournament guy.
So he had a tournament this past weekend, right? Or 2 weeks ago.
It was it was already last weekend. No, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. But he did a tournament surrounded around his Instagram channel that he just dove in and said, you know what, let's go for it. And he decided to throw on a tournament here in the Southern Ohio region, which is kind of cool. He just went like, hey, let's throw a golf outing tournament and let's see how it goes. And you did it for your birthday primarily, right?
Yes. Yeah. It was definitely something like, at first it was like, I just want to do something fun with a bunch of friends of mine and guys who love golf, guys who barely play, guys who play all the time. And again, just mostly just to connect with a bunch of people who don't know each other, that do know each other. And let's just go out and golf and have some fun. So.
Heck yeah. That's cool, man. So yeah, let's dive into this, bro. Tell me what got you into doing golf? Like when was the first time you swung a golf club?
Dude, so I when I was in college, I had a couple of roommates that they all golfed. Like consistently, and that's how they really connected. And so I remember one day they were just like, dude, just come to the driving range with us. You know, I didn't have any clubs. I would use their clubs, and it was a lot of fun. I loved it instantly, even though I was much worse than I am now. I'm still a bad golfer today. But I remember I just liked it. I liked being outside. I liked riding in a golf cart. I liked talking to people and hanging out. And so we went to a couple of courses when I lived in Phoenix. Again, I didn't have clubs until years later. I would borrow a driver from the golf course that someone probably left that was about to be broken, and I would just hit that. I would hit a driver off the tee, and then once I got into the fairway, I would then hit another driver off the tee just to get it up to the green, and they would like let me use their putter or something like that. So I didn't have clubs for years. It wasn't until one of my roommates was getting married, and I was in his wedding, and he was like, dude, we're going to be golfing all weekend. I was like, I need to get clubs. And so my father-in-law had a set of clubs that he hadn't used in a while, and he was like, here, just take these. And so I still have videos from like going to the driving range very early on, and I was like, wow, I look insanely unathletic and terrible. And so I've been golfing. I started, I would say, about almost 3 years ago, consistently, like where I'm like it's an actual hobby of mine. I would say it's been about a year and a half, maybe a little bit less. I would say the most consistent I've been has been in the last 7 or 8 months once I started making content for it.
Yeah. I would say if you've never golfed before, it is a sport that can quickly, if you're a somewhat athletic person, it quickly humbles you.
Absolutely.
And makes you realize how unathletic you actually are.
1,000%. I think, in my opinion, after playing for as much as I have in the last year or so, I think it's one of the harder sports to get good at, because I think athleticism can definitely carry you in a lot of sports. And anybody, most people, I think can go on a run. A lot of people can learn how to play basketball, or at least find something they're good at in basketball. Similar in some ways with football. Soccer is another sport where I think anybody can pick up and maybe not be the absolute best at, but enjoy. I think golf is a sport where if you are bad at it, which everybody is to start off, you're going to be bad for a while. And I don't think you'll enjoy it so much early on if you're only focusing on how well you're doing in the sport. You got to focus on everything else that comes with it, hanging out with your buddies, being outside for a few hours, enjoying, like I said, the weather, and every once in a while you do something good, and that kind of brings you back. But golf is one of the hardest sports, I would say, to be good at.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. And this is coming from someone, mind you, who you played like some intense soccer at collegiate levels.
Yeah, I played college soccer. I played not at the highest level of college soccer, honestly. I wasn't like a Division I player or anything. I didn't play a lot at my college. I was, on the kind of bottom of the totem pole, but I did have that experience. I played semi-pro on some teams in Florida. I also had the opportunity to play for a little bit with a professional futsal team, like indoor soccer, when I was in college as well. And so definitely have played at high levels, not the highest level, but, past high school, past college, and then in soccer. But yeah, I think I'm pretty athletic. And then I picked up a golf club and I was like, wow, this is terrible. I feel literally like, I don't know. I felt, like I said, the most unathletic person ever.
Yeah.
When I first picked up a golf club.
Which is crazy. Do you feel that way more because you were such an athlete in other sports? Because I know we played basketball together growing up, and like you fly around the court. You're a quick guy.
Yeah.
So you fly around the court. Soccer, fly. You were always athletic. Do you feel like because you were so much more athletic in other sports that you just felt so much weight when it came to golf?
I think it's just like, bro, like, why can't I figure this out? Like, why can't I get this quick? And then I'm playing with guys that have played for 10, 15 years. Because in my mind, like, growing up, like, we lived in South Florida, and golf is pretty big in South Florida too. And because the weather is always nice out there and people can golf year round, but we always saw golf as like a rich person sport that we didn't have access to. Like, buying clubs, trying to be in a country club or whatever. My mom worked at a house that was on a golf course, and it was a very like rich neighborhood. So I always thought golf is like a rich person sport. Like, why would I ever even think about this? I now like look back and wish, like, dude, even if we couldn't afford it, I do wish like I had a set of clubs and I could just play as a kid. And I would go, or even in high school, I could go with my friends and play and learn how to play. But now looking back at it, like, I'm 28. I started golfing, a few years ago. I was like, this is going to be something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
As a hobby, as something to hang out with people and just have fun doing. So, yeah.
Do you feel like it's a good community? Like, you've mentioned it a couple of times. So it's a good community sport. It's a way for you to build a bond or connect with people.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, so many people use it to network, talk business, just to hang out with friends. Like, you're sitting in a golf cart for, 4 hours, 5 hours, sometimes longer than that, depending on how busy it is. And you're just talking to the guy next to you. I've met people on a golf course that I will probably never see again. But for a couple hours, we just talked and we just hung out and we got to know each other. I also golf with people, like the same people consistently, and just we check in and we, see how we're doing and all that. I think it's a great way to connect with people.
That's pretty awesome. So let's go back into, the why behind what you're doing. I sent you a post a week ago or something like that. Another guy who's also doing a similar golf thing, but his is like Golf for Jesus or something like that. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned in that message, you're like, dude, that's exactly what I want to do. Like, tell me about that.
Yeah. I mean, coming from a pastoral role in ministry, being in ministry for years, my wife and I, we obviously love the church. We love Jesus, those are the most important things to us. And I think having the opportunity to meet with people, connect with people, and teach them about Jesus and talk about Jesus and just see how they're doing. Golf and just, I think any hobby or anything that connects people, the main goal about it is honestly like, how can we get people closer to Jesus and to realize that they need a savior, to realize that they need, a heavenly Father. And so being in pastoral positions and being in ministry where it was my job to teach people about Jesus and to plug them into community and to with other people that know the Lord. Right now, like I continue to want that, even though I'm not getting paid for it. I know what God has done in my life and in my family's life. And the one thing I want for everybody that I encounter is like, man, like I want you to also experience like the goodness of God and what Jesus has for you in your life. And so it might not start off with me just walking up to somebody and be like, hey, brother, can I tell you about our Lord and Savior? But it just starts off as like, what's going on, man? Like, good to meet you. Like, and then you start asking, like, what did you do before this? What do you do for work? And where are you from? All this stuff. Eventually it leads to the point where it's like, hey, man, like, let's talk about our spiritual life. Let's talk about faith and let's talk about Jesus and talk about God. So
yeah, that's cool, bro. And like you went to, where did you go to school?
So I went to college for a couple years in Florida, where I played college soccer. I then eventually went to Bible college in Phoenix, and that's where I met Jillian. I met my wife, and we were both there. She went to college in Australia for a year. Again, she was studying music and drumming and songwriting. She is like a very creative person. She loves to songwrite. She loves to create things. She loves music. She's very good at it. I went more so for the pastoral side of team leading and preaching and communicating, and also we both studied a lot of theology, but we just kind of had separate paths in that. And so we went to Bible college in Phoenix, and then jumped right into ministry as soon as we graduated into ministry roles right after that.
Yeah.
Here in Cincinnati. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're passionate about church, God, and ministry, and as what you've been doing. Which is cool. It, shows as a person you are, but then you decide one day you're doing this golf thing, and when you're doing it on Instagram or, social media, when did you see the shift from, it was kind of just like a little side thing that you were trying out? When did it start becoming a little bit more real when you started doing it? Like, did you see like just a massive jump in numbers one day where you were just like in views or reach?
Mm-hmm.
Or what did that look like?
Yeah, it literally started off as like, I want to just make content. And I think one day I was posting just me on the course. I started posting these golf shots in the backyard because we were stuck inside. We were in between jobs. We just moved back here from Tennessee. And then I started just posting like almost like meme-like videos of myself and stuff like that. And I remember one video did well, which in my mind was like insanely well. It was like got to like 30,000, 40,000. And I was so excited because I saw these views going up. And then I was like, dude, like, I need to post every day. And I started looking at like studying algorithms and all this stuff. And I was like, all right, I need to post 3 times a day at this time, this time, and this time. And then eventually I posted a video, and now it's at like, I think 3+ million views or something like that. I think it was posted in March or April. I can't remember. A little while ago. And I was like, hold up, dude. Like, I think I can actually like post funny videos that people are going to see, and I need to do it very often. And so I was just like, it's not easy, but I also was like, dude, that's actually crazy how quickly this can happen and how many views you can get from a silly video that I made in 30 seconds. And so I was just like, yeah, I just want to do this for fun. Or maybe if I had the chance to do it full time or something like that to provide and take care of our family, I'll do it. But it's like, this is pretty awesome. This is pretty fun. So It started as something fun, and then eventually was like, hold up, like the more effort I put into this, I think I'll actually see some pretty cool results.
Yeah. Pull the video up. I want to see which one it was.
Dude, it was like, so the first video I did make, let me see. It's probably deep in there. Keep in mind, at this point now, like I said, it's been a while. So I've posted over 200 times. There was a time, I think, for 30 straight days.
You posted over 200 pieces of content.
Just on Instagram, yes.
Just on Instagram.
Yes, and obviously we have TikTok and everything as well. So there was definitely a time.
That's 28 times a month he has posted content.
So get this. I think it was for the first 30 days when I was really going at it. I think I actually posted, in 30 days, I think I had posted 90-something times. So I was posting 3 times a day for 30 straight days.
Bro,
and sometimes more. Sometimes, 4 times in that day. I just like was telling myself like, dude, I need to post this much so that way I can get views or whatever. Let me see if I want to see all the way back. So I mean,
sheesh.
I think I might need to I can't even look at my like last 30 days. I think that's actually scroll down. So it was cool. like I said, like I put, again, it was like such a dumb video. It was like a random video of me like comparing other content creators or golf creators that everybody would know. And eventually like it just went crazy. And I wouldn't even say like it went like really crazy. Like literally this was the first one that I posted that I would say like blew up. And it was just like, oh, not even that one. That one was the second one that blew up. Sorry. This one, this is 59,000. Like again, in comparison, like it's literally like
sideways, and I'll see it so we can show the screen like, too.
It's kind of blurry. I don't know why. And it's just like on a day with my wife, and someone starts talking about good golf. Bob does sports, and I think it's like the Bryan Bros. And it's just like it's what's his name, Michael Keaton, Batman, and all this stuff, and like. I got inspo from somebody else, like talking about something completely different. And I was just like, that's funny. Like I can make that into like a golf related video. And then it started just like going crazy. I'm like, babe, like this video's at 5K. It's at 10K. It's at 15. Oh my gosh. It's up to like 20. And then eventually I posted a video, which was like, oh, like your homie gets invited to go to the Masters, and his girlfriend is talking about like, oh, I can't wait to go. And it's just like supposed to be like, hold up, bro, like you're not invited, like he's gonna invite me. And then that one was got up to 3 million views. Again, it's just like I don't know why certain videos go crazy like that and just go nuts, but some of them do. And it's really cool that like stuff like that can just happen. It is actually funny. I posted that video, this was months ago, and it got, again, like up to 3 million views. Somebody followed me on Instagram, and and one of the first videos I see on his Instagram is him doing my exact video. And he also got like hundreds of thousands of views on it, millions of views on it or whatever. But when I say it's the exact video that I made, it's like word for word, same reaction, same clip from The Incredibles. It's like, it's crazy. It's all this stuff. And then one of my friends even sent it, and he's like, dude, this dude's biting your content. Like he's copying you. And I'm like, man, I don't know. He found something that works and he's doing it. So all good, bro. Like more power to him. Like that's flattering, I guess. But I always thought about, I was like, dude, should I say something to this? But then I was like, what's the big deal? Who cares? Like, it's not like he's copying, I guess, or I just look at it as like, he's inspired by it. Yeah. I get inspired by other people's content and try to make it into something that works for me. So I don't really care about that.
That's I respect it. And dude, because you better believe people are going to be like, that's how people do it. Yeah. That's how other people do it. They just recreate the same content until something works.
They see what works. And like, why not redo it?
Why am I going to reinvent the wheel? That's the thing. You don't reinvent the wheel. If it's already working, then do it.
Yes, exactly.
Heck yeah, bro. Let's go. So now where are you at with your posting cadence, with what you do? You just trying to do one time a day right now, or?
I try to get as much out as I can, once or twice a day. I think what works the best, there's definitely times in a day where it works better, but I think about like, okay, well, when is somebody going to be on social media to watch videos the most? I've seen a lot of success happen more so at night. If I'm posting, and we're on the East Coast, if I post at 9 o'clock, the earliest that somebody might watch it in, at least America, is at 6 p.m. on the West Coast, which is right when they're going to get off work, let's say. If someone's watching it at 9 p.m., they're maybe about to go to bed, they're getting ready for bed, they're going to be scrolling on their phone. I might even do a little bit later at times, and so I'll try to post that two times a day. Right now, I am doing a challenge with Jillian to see who can get to 1,000 followers on TikTok first. And she's like going in, and she's now taking the lead, which is crazy because she started 7 months after I did.
What?
And she's now already has more followers than me on TikTok. And
I just think girls have an unfair advantage.
It's weird. She's connecting with the stay-at-home moms, and they have an insane community. Yeah. Which I try to like catch with the golf community to help me out. Yeah. And so I'm hoping that it does happen. But also I was like, hey, if we both can get our following up and both can do something with this, like why not keep going? So it's been a funny little battle between us at home recently.
That's pretty cool. So okay, let's get into the actual tournament.
I feel like now we're forcing it.
I know. The tournament.
The tournament. Okay, that's fine. It is you win.
Yep. So let's get into the tournament. What did that look like? So you decide you tell Jillian, I want to go golfing for my birthday, or does she suggest that?
So for the last couple years, I have gone to golf on the morning of my birthday. I go by myself, early in the morning. I love to get out as early as I can. Be the first one out there just so I can take my time and go at my own pace. But I also like use it as a time to just like reflect and think and pray and just like look to think about what's going to happen in this next year or things like that, or just be in peace and quiet and just be with my own thoughts. And so I did want to still do that. But then I also thought, like, with this, with the content, I thought of something like, man, this would be really cool to make a tournament happen with as many golfers as I can find that would be willing to do it, and also give these guys an opportunity to do something that they probably won't do on their own sometimes. A lot of people like don't really think like I'm good enough to be in a tournament, especially when you're not like, if you're shooting in the 80s and the 90s or even the hundreds, like you probably won't go into like a local tournament because you don't want to like embarrass yourself or anything. So I was like, man, like I just want to connect with my friends and do something that is easy for all of us to do. Everybody will feel like acknowledged, cared about, and just like, dude, I'm a part of a tournament. This is so cool. So we just literally like, let's just do this. And then I started reaching out to courses, and a lot of them responded. Some didn't. Some didn't care so much about the social media stuff. That's kind of what I told them about.
What do you mean? So you reached out to courses so you could have this tournament?
I reached out to courses, and I was like, hey, I create content. I have this amount of views, and this is my following right now. I would love to have your course to be a part of this, and also I will post content leading up to it, during it, after it, promoting your course and seeing all the good stuff about it. A lot of the courses were courses that I played, so I knew a good bit about them. The course we did use, I only played once before the tournament, but it was awesome. It was Indian Ridge Golf Course in Oxford, Ohio. Staff was awesome. Andy is the pro shop manager, and he helped out like from literally the moment I reached out to him. He was like, let's do it. Like, let's make it happen. Here's the cost. And it was an incredible price. He was so helpful, like for months, like just emailing back and forth. And the day of, the day of was the day I met him in person, and he was just so kind. He was so appreciative that we would use their course, and they were so helpful to everything that we needed. I mean, they set up golf carts for us, like they put our names on them. They had an extra golf cart for Jillian, who was watching me or was filming and doing all that stuff. And so, excuse me, all of the things that leading up to it, like he was so cool about it. Some courses were like, nah, we're good, man. You don't have enough people in the tournament. You don't have enough of a following for us to care necessarily. So I was like, all right, no hard feelings. Go to the next one. Or some were like, hey, this is the cost, and it ended up being too much. This course was the perfect cost, the distance, our kind of interactions and what we would each get out of it. So it just ended up working out, and then which led to eventually me reaching out to brands and businesses and other companies as well.
So before you reached out, did you have the players already in mind? Like, did everybody already agree? And what was that like?
I had a list. I had to make a list. And I started off, I think, with about 30 guys that I would initially reach out to. The list grew to about 55, 60 guys. And some of them were maybe not someone I knew directly, but somebody like, hey, I know you know this person. Can you reach out to your brother? Can you reach out to this guy? Can you reach out to so-and-so? Eventually got up to about 60 people, and I was like, dude, I'm looking to do, X amount of guys for this tournament. Some people I texted, and I was like, they're like, I'm in. When do I need to pay? Like, what do I got to do? Where's it going to be? Some guys were like, hey, I can't swing it this year. I'm out of town or whatever. Some guys didn't respond, and, that's okay. That's totally fine. I get people are busy, so it's no hard feelings when it comes to that. So you get a lot of a mixed reactions to something like this, which I thought was pretty cool though.
Nice.
Yeah.
So book the course.
Mm-hmm.
What was the next step?
Next step was definitely confirming golfers. I didn't need to know how many golfers we would have in the tournament till about the week before.
Okay.
Which again gave me a lot of flexibility. For fallouts, for people that wanted to come in late. I mean, I had people confirming, the first week that I reached out to, 3 weeks later, 2 weeks before the tournament that they were in. The next thing that I wanted to do, I was like, well, if I can promote this well enough, brands and businesses will hopefully want to work with me. And I can provide things for the golfers in it. Because, yeah, they're going to pay a course fee, and they're going to pay to be in it. That contributes to the winnings and the prizes. But I want to give back as much as I can to them. And so I reached out to Auto Caps and like the hat brand. I reached out to, dude, if I showed you my Instagram DMs and emails, I reached out to probably over 100 different businesses and brands on Instagram DMs, on emails, and a lot didn't respond. A lot didn't, a lot said, not at this time. A lot were like, hey, once you grow to this amount, we'll help you out. We'll work together. A lot were like, hey, we can do this for this cost, for this discounted price. We're a small business. We're trying to grow too. And so it was just kind of reaching out. And it's crazy how long it took for people to finally be like, hey, we'll help you out. We'll send you this stuff to, give to your golfers. And so 3 main businesses ended up helping us out. So Otto sent us free hats.
I saw that.
And I went and got them embroidered and everything at Lids. King of Clubs scorecards on Instagram and TikTok sent me free scorecards just as a little gift for the golfers. It's just like a bunch of different scorecards that they make. Again, they're a small business, and it's a husband and wife that I think are based in Columbus, actually, which is cool. They just sent me those. And they're like, here, we'll give you these. And then T18 Golf in Mainville is the owner. His name is Aaron, who's now a good friend of mine. He was like, dude, I talked to him about doing like our draft night there, and he was like, come and visit, come check it out. And as soon as I told him the idea, he was like, we're going to do this and we're going to do it big. We're going to do it. We're going to make this awesome. I came, I was like, yeah, man, I want to do a draft board. I might try to bring in a whiteboard and write people's name on the whiteboard. And he's like, no. He's like, we're putting people on the what's it called? The projector screen. We're going to use this big screen right here, and we're going to make it big, man. Like, this is going to be awesome. Like, let's freaking do it. And so he was so helpful and was just like, I just want to help you out with this because this is a cool thing. And you're a good guy, and I know people that and they have good things to say. And so I'm like, it was very organic, which was so cool. But then again, you get a lot of people that were like, nah, man, I'm good. And I'm like, all right, cool, sick. I'll just go find somebody else, I guess. I don't know. You try not to be discouraged. But then you get the people that say yes, and then it really encourages you that they want to help out. So,
bro, I'm legit blown away right now. So you asked 100 different brands and people to help. You just reached out to them.
Just reached out. Just DMs, emails, calls. Yeah.
Bro, you need a sales job, bro.
I was in the middle of a sales job.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
So I was cold calling. Dude, I'm not going to lie. I cared more about cold calling brands to help me with this tournament than I did about the job at the time. Yeah. I was like, this is much cooler to me in my mind. So
okay.
I was trying to just man, I just wanted help. I wanted support. I think that's the thing where most people, I feel like, that want to grow in content. Again, I don't have a crazy following. I think eventually followers will come and I'll get the opportunity to do much more with content. I'm grateful for at least what I have right now. But I think the main thing about it is people are scared to do that stuff. People are afraid to just reach out. Again, the worst a brand will say is no. But the best thing that they can do is hey, we'll send you this, or hey, we'll put you on our story. And that's how you grow. Now, next year when I do this tournament again, more likely than not, I now have at least, 4 or 5, maybe even more than that, connections that are hey, tournament's coming up in July. Do you want to help us out again? Do you want to partner in this? And they're going to be absolutely, let's do it. Hey, we want to play your course again. And they're like, dude, 1000%. It went great last year. Let's do it again. And so, but people can't be you can't be scared to or they're just not going to open your message. And it's just
and you got to be okay with that.
You got to be okay with that. That's fine. Just move on. Go to the next. This was a dumb thing I did. I'm not even gonna lie. I felt literally digging myself in a hole and not getting out. I started to message a lot of brands on Instagram, golf brands mostly. And I was such an idiot. I made a message, and at the top of the message, I put a specific brand's name, who I've already connected with before. And so I copied that message to send to all of these different brands, but I didn't take out the name at the top. And so some people even responded. There's a very famous, I don't want to say famous, it sounds weird to say, but a very well-known golf creator, 2 guys, their names are Divot Dudes. They go around and they give drivers to people, really cool guys. And they responded and they were like, hey, I don't know who you were trying to reach out to, but this isn't us. And I was like, hey, bro, my bad, dude. Like, I was literally
At that
like,
point.
I was like, you're right, man. My bad. Thanks for responding, at least. And they were just like, no worries, all good. So I was like, hopefully that's not a ruined connection, you know? So maybe in the future, eventually we'll be able to hang out or talk or something. But in that moment, I definitely felt like an idiot. I'm not going to lie. So
Sure.
that was tough.
Dude, that's hard, man.
That was tough.
So you took an L there.
That was a big L.
You took
A lot of
couple
L's.
Ls.
A lot of L's.
But you got through those to get to this.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Exactly.
That's really impressive. So, you message the brands leading up to this event. What let's say a week out. You're a week out from the event. What things are you trying to nail down before this happens?
Well, there's a lot of just like, you know, the fun side of it. We knew we had the course, we had the times. I would think I was finalizing the, you know, last couple of guys that were going to be in the tournament. But we had basically everything we need. The last things that we were doing was preparing like gifts for our golfers. My wife and I made like gift baskets where we gave everybody a hat with, you know, Messy Golf Invitational on it, which was really cool. We got those embroidered. We gave everybody like golf balls, you know, some drinks like Alani's, and we ended up giving everybody a cigar. So it was like a gift basket. We were just kind of preparing that for the last week, probably like the few days leading into it. But at that point, you know, it's kind of like a wedding. You know, it's kind of like a major event. You already have your caterers. You already have all this stuff prepared. Now it's like, let's make sure our final touches, like the things that we need to pick up, we'll pick them up at certain days, certain times. And so at that point, it's honestly all good to go. You're just kind of getting some official final touches. Yep. And I guess the planning of the day itself, you know. Yep. But at that point, you're almost ready to go.
Yeah. So you did the draft night, which was a couple days before?
It was the night before.
Draft night. What was the turnout like? What was the energy like at the beginning of it and then at the end of it? Because I know you're bringing all these random guys together, so it's probably like, it was awkward at first, but, you know, talk me through that.
Yeah, dude, I'm surprisingly, like, not as awkward as we would think. I knew essentially everybody in the tournament, but not everybody knew everybody.
Okay.
So there's a lot of guys that would know a few guys, but guys eventually were just like, what's up, man? My name's so-and-so. My name's blah, blah. What's going on? Like, hey, you want to hit some balls, whatever? Because we were at a simulator. So everybody brought their clubs. We had food.
M18, what's it called?
T18.
T18.
We were, we had food. You know, we could grab some drinks, whatever. There's actually one more. So Spirit Soda Company is a dirty soda brand ran by some of our good friends, Haven and Maddie. They were just like, hey, we'll bring stuff to do dirty sodas that night. And just like, they just wanted to help out. And I was like, okay, sick. Like, awesome. That's another cool thing where people just like want to like naturally help. And so we had that there. Start of the night was super chill. Guys were like, they walk in and they're like, it's a guy's dream. You know, they were like, oh my gosh, like this is so set up well. It's very clean. Very similar to kind of like your style here, you know, like so nice. Like guys like were like enamored by how it looked. Like literally it's like they walked into heaven. And they're like, dude, this is awesome. They got into the simulator, started playing, you know, kind of ran through the night. We did a long drive contest, the closest to the pin. I got to give some stuff away, got to give gift cards, some golf clubs away, other little stuff, like little gifts here. Nobody had even thought about asking me about what the prizes were until like I mentioned it. I explained like the whole tournament, like the layout, how we were going to play it. And then eventually I was like, do you guys want to know what you're winning? And I was like, man, you know, the winning team is going to split $1,000. And they were like, whoa. And I was like, what do you think you guys paid for? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just funny. Like, no, it seemed like nobody even like, I even heard guys say, it was like, dude, I didn't even care about winning, like the winnings. I just thought this was cool to be a part of. You know, winning some money was the bonus, you know, or winning some gifts were the bonus. And so, that's when I knew, like, I picked the right people to be in it. Yeah. Which somebody, it was so funny because somebody messaged on, somebody else's Instagram. They posted on their story and somebody messaged them and were like, man, I want to be a part of this. And they responded. He's like, you got to be invited. It's like, it's called an invitational for a reason because you have to be invited. And that's not like me trying to be like exclusive. I didn't say that. This guy did. But I was like, it was cool. Like I invited everybody to be in it. Yeah. And I want to make sure that like I don't ever want to close the door to anybody, but I also do want it to be something that's like, hey, this is not about making money. This is not about, you know, you want to be competitive, sure. Like, you can chirp at each other, you can talk a little bit of smack. At the end of the day, we're here to have fun. We're here to be competitive, but we're also here to connect, and make friends and build community. And hopefully at the end of the day, like I said, like, man, like, the main reason of why I do what I want to do is to link people to Jesus, is to bring people to the Lord, to connect other followers. Like, I was driving up here, I was thinking about this, and I said, I want to connect with people that are close to Jesus and very far from him. And because at the end of the day, we all need the same thing. We all need community. We all need connection. We all need, you know, intimacy. And so I was like, man, if I can connect those that are far from the Lord to those that are very close to Jesus, like, this will be the greatest thing that God has put on my heart to do. So, man, guys didn't care about making money. They just were like, guys were sitting in golf carts with people they never met before and might not see until next year. But they were like, dude, so-and-so is so cool. Like, that is such a cool guy. Like, we talked the whole day. We hung out. And so it ended up being, like, even better than I could imagine, honestly.
Bro, tell me, day of, event starts, what's going through your mind, like, prior to the event? All right, so day of the event, you're leading into the event, like, what's going through your mind?
Mm-hmm. Prior to the event.
Also, pause. How many teams did you have? How many different groups?
So there was 2 teams. It was 20 guys. There was 2 teams. So it ended up being like 10 pairs. The way it worked was basically it was drafted. So we had 2 captains. They drafted their teams. They would decide who was going to play together on their team, and then they would send out a matchup. So they were sending out, hey, Joe and John, we're going to send them out first. Who do you guys want to play against them? And so you would play against a pair from the other team. It ended up being like where if that team won, like if that pair won, it would be a point to their team. My team ended up winning the first round, 4-1. And then we went to the second round to play in a winner's bracket, essentially, where the pairs were then scrambled up. And now there's no teams. You're just with your pair. Me and my partner, we ended up not winning, which is fine. But we stunk it up late in the round, which is tough. We were doing pretty good, and then we lost it. But, yeah, I was like split up into 2 separate teams.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. Okay, day of event, what's going on? What's going through your head? Prior, like, it's about to start.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are you thinking?
Day of, or the morning of, I'm like, I know I had to wake up early. I'm a little nervous. I'm so, like, critical of the things that I do. Like, I'm my biggest critic. And coming from, like, especially like a church world where events are so often, you know, you got your big, you know, kickoffs and camps and all these things. I want so much for people, like, to experience, like, such a great thing for something that, like, I've put so much effort into. So I'm like worrying about, like, I'm talking to Jillian. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope they like this. I hope they don't hate it. I hope they want to do it again. And I was just like, all right, let me just relax, because if I'm focused so much on that, I'm not going to have a good time. And so I was like, let me have a good time as well. Let me go out there and have fun golfing. Let me go out there talking to people. Let me talk to as much people as I can. Let me connect to as much people as I can. And so the morning of, we get there, and it's like the most beautiful morning. The course, like, was insanely, it was so nice. Everything was perfect conditions, all this stuff. And so when I saw everybody, like, already talking and hanging out and ready to go, I was like, now it's all I got to do is golf.
Yeah.
And I'm not worried about anything else. And so I had jitters, like, I had, like, those nerves, because now it's like everybody's watching you. And, you know, people are chirping and people are having fun, but also, like, people are, like, right behind you looking at you tee off the first ball. And, you know, if you mess up, everybody's going to say something. But, like, all the nerves kind of just went away, and I just realized, like, I'm going to have fun today. And so, yeah, I just told myself, like, man, if I'm too worried about how every little detail is, like, I'm going to be miserable today. So let me not focus on that. Let me just focus on having fun and connecting with all these guys and everything.
That's cool.
Yeah.
End of the day finishes, event's over. How are you, like, recapping in your head? Like, talking me through what's going on. You know?
Yeah. At the end of the day, so it ends up coming, which is crazy. Tournament actually ends up in a tie. So 2 pairs won. I gave them the decision. Hey, you either have, like, a tiebreaker, or, you know, you you guys can split the winnings. And they're like, we'll just split the winnings. I think everybody was tired at that point. We played 36 holes of golf. We were there all day.
Oh, my God.
I think everybody was like, dude, I don't care. I don't care about winning anymore. I just want to go home. We'll split it. I think next year I won't let that happen. I think I want to make sure like one person or one pair goes home. But at the end of the day, like I said, like guys that I had just met that week were insanely appreciative. Just so thankful that this was something that they could be a part of, that they got invited for this. And so I think, dude, at the end of it, like that's what like, especially guys, bro, like we try to hide so much about like this kind of stuff, like emotions and all these things and how we feel. I think every single guy in that tournament, and there was one girl, my sister-in-law was the only girl in the tournament, but I think every single person in that tournament like felt seen and cared about and were appreciative that they got invited to do something that they love, which a lot of times they don't get that opportunity. And so I think most guys don't even like care about, like I said, winning, but they cared about the fact that they were thought of and they got invited to this and they were here and they were seen and they had a lot of fun. And so most of the guys were literally just appreciative that like, dude, thanks for inviting me. Thanks for having me here. Yeah. I was appreciative that they took a whole Saturday and a Friday night to be there. So it was, yeah, I mean, the main thing was like how appreciative everybody was after the fact.
Yeah. So what's your follow-up in after that? And then what do you want to do for your next one? Have you thought through some of that stuff already?
A little bit. I think I took the like a little, a few days, a week or so just to kind of reevaluate in a way. I had to just kind of think about like what went well, what could I improve? Because I don't really think there wasn't really much I don't think went well. I think there was a lot more wins than room for improvement. And so next year I want more guys in it. I want more players in it. I want to have a bigger winning pool. I want to hopefully connect with more brands or connect with people that would be willing to be a part of it as a resource, as to sponsor, as to invest. Because at the end of the day, like I want to give back. And so, of course, I want people to enjoy it. I want to give people gifts. I want to give people money if they win. But I also want something to where it's like, hey, like what if it's not just like about us winning, but we're all able to come together and give to something bigger than us. Yeah. A ministry, an organization, somebody that needs it more. Like if I can go and give, $1,000 to a family that needs it, I think that would be cool. If I could go give to a specific homeless shelter or a ministry that helps people, then that would be awesome. I would love to do something like that. But again, I want to make it more exciting. I want to get better content from it.
Sure.
Leading up to it, I want to get, if I can, more cameras out there, more exposure to it. Not just to the tournament, but to the golf course that we're going to be at, to the brands that helped this year. I want to be able to help them out as much as they've helped me out.
Sure.
In a sense.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool that you want to do that next year, and that's the plan. And I mean, that you've already accomplished this is pretty sick. Leading up to it for your next year, you have a lot of time to prepare, more brands you can reach out to,
yes.
people.
There's a lot of brands out there.
Yes. So that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
So what's your vision? What do you, outside of this, is it just this golf thing that you want to do, or do you have more on your vision, mental vision board that you're like, I would like to see this come pass?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love getting to do this. Like it's so much fun. And thankfully I have a lot of support from Jillian. She pushes me more sometimes than I push myself, I would say. Like sometimes when I'm like, I don't know about this, she's like, dude, like stop doubting. I think doubt is like, I was talking to Steven yesterday about this. Like, bro, doubt is like death by 1,000 cuts. It's like one little thing that you're doubting leads to so much, leads to you deciding not to do something. So if I let enough doubt get into my mind, I would have said, there was definitely times where I was like, I don't think I should do this. I don't think I can do this. There's too much like stress to it. There's like too much effort that goes into it. And there was definitely times where I was like, is this the right thing? Like, what if I just give everybody their money back and just like cancel? Yeah. But then I was like, why would I do that? Like that was definitely a thought, but I was like, man, I don't know. Like go through with this. Literally just go through with it. You wanted to do this. This is a really cool thing. It's a really fun. Literally just push through. And so I want to eventually get to the point where, again, like this is a yearly thing, but what do I do from this past tournament to next tournament? It's posting consistent content, of course.
Yeah.
It's connecting with people. It's stuff like this. It's shooting videos with people like my friends, or connections that I might have with, you know, golfers or other content creators and athletes. And, you know, like I said, like the long form content. Golf content is a very growing thing right now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that post similar content. I'm trying to figure out what can I do differently that will make people want to watch it. I think very often right now the content is a lot of golf, but it's also a lot of like, I don't want to like, you know, dog on people, but there's a lot of content out there that's not helping anybody. It's not encouraging. It's not uplifting. I don't want to be like a, you know, cheesy Christian content creator where we're sitting in a golf cart and I'm like, hey man, tell me your testimony today. You know, but I do want to be something that people watch and they're encouraged.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, like what is it about these guys that's so, they're so happy, they're so joyful, they're so encouraging. That's why I want to connect with people and talk about Jesus, even if they don't know the Lord. There's content creators that all they promote is, you know, drinking, smoking, gambling, and talking to girls and all this stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, what is that? How does that help the guy that's watching?
Yeah.
How does that help you who's creating that content? Yeah. It's not lasting. Like, dude, that'll fade away so quick. And so I want to build something that's going to last. I do want to make merch. I want to make hats. I want to sell shirts. I want to do all that stuff, of course. I want to do all those things. I want to not build my name or my brand. I want to build Jesus up, and hopefully he has his hand on it, and I'm able to kind of build this thing to, again, connect with more people.
Yeah, that's pretty sick, bro. What if you had Messi?
That would be insane.
Messi come out and golf.
Dude, they started telling people at the course when in the tournament, they're like, what's Messy Golf? And they were like, oh, the guy who runs it, his cousin is Messi, is Lionel Messi.
He's
like Logan.
Of course,
Logan literally was like, he's literally Messi's cousin, or he's Messi's brother. And I would go to get a hot dog, and the girl at the counter is like, is it your Messi's cousin? And I was like, no, who told you that? Like, that's not true. Like, we're actually like all respects to Messi. He's probably never going to see, I mean, he might see this. I don't know. Maybe he does see this at some point.
Yeah.
I don't like Argentina at all.
Yeah,
like, I'm Brazilian, you know, so it's like, but all due respect to him, but no, we're not related in any way. So I'm like, no, stop. Like, stop telling people that. And they're just so stupid. But that would be cool. I don't know how we would communicate. I don't know if he speaks English. We would try in Spanish. So
yeah,
but yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm sure that'd be pretty awesome. How'd you feel about the World Cup turnout this year?
I was disappointed, dude. I was disappointed for that day where Brazil lost.
Yeah.
But then I don't like to. Well, okay, I'll say this. I have a hate watch list of teams that I don't like, that don't want to see win at the time. I really wanted Brazil to win. I think USA played to their past their expectations till that last game. I was pretty sad, but I think they built so much expectation, and they did more than what people probably expected, which was really cool.
Yeah.
I love the World Cup because it's the one thing, I think it's the one sport that, even if it happens every 4 years, connects more people to the sport than any other one.
Yes.
Nobody, like, you watch the Super Bowl every year, World Series, all this stuff, but nobody all of a sudden is like,
I'd say even more than the Olympics.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody all of a sudden is like, I'm so interested in football because of the Super Bowl. Everybody everywhere all of a sudden is interested in soccer because the World Cup is a month and a half long, and Americans who never watch soccer, anybody who never watches soccer, all of a sudden are like, did you see what so-and-so did last night, or whatever that game last night? And I'm like, dude, that is so cool. I used to be bothered by that because I used to be bothered, like almost like gatekeeping soccer.
Yeah.
I used to, or football. Like, I used to be like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, you're trying to put in opinions. And I sometimes do get bothered when someone is like, oh, so Florian Balogun is the best player in the world. And I was like, well, okay, bro, hold on. Like, he did really good, but let's slow our roll here. But I used to get bothered when some people would almost like talk about something that they didn't really know too much about and act like they did. Mm-hmm. But now I'm just kind of like, dude, like, you found something to like for a month and a half and be so passionate about it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, be passionate about it after the World Cup. Find a team to watch, you know, go to a Cincinnati game. You know, watch leagues and everything like that. This is a really entertaining sport, and I think most people don't get that. Yeah. But when the World Cup comes around, everybody's locked in, and I think that's actually really cool.
Bro, it was crazy. I was I was against Argentina from
1,000%.
day one.
I was so happy. I was happy they lost. I'm sorry. I was
Yeah,
happy they
dude.
lost.
Yeah, they were just dirty.
I was praying God's favor over every team except Argentina, and it's probably wrong to say, but
Sure.
I was like, man, like I cannot see Argentina win again. As a Brazilian, I just can't do it. It's like being a Bengals fan and being like, oh, can't wait to see the Browns win the Super Bowl. Like, no, you don't want to see that. You would never want to see that. So
so that was pretty cool. Yeah, it was an interesting experience for this World Cup.
It was awesome. I thought it was great. That was awesome.
Agreed. It was cool that it was in the U.S., but dude, everything was so expensive. You like see the tickets and everything, and how much that stuff was going for.
It was insane.
Wild.
It was insane. I think didn't need to be that. You would have got stadiums were packed out regardless.
Sure.
But I think you would have got much more support and a lot less like people talking about it if the tickets were a little bit cheaper because they could have been. Yeah. But people buy them anyways. And because it's like, how often does this happen?
Exactly.
So they take the chance on it being here every 4 years or something. So,
jeez, which golf network do you prefer to watch? Is there do you prefer to watch like PGA or are you into live golf at all? Like what?
I just like good golf, dude. Like, I mean, I think PGA is like the gold standard of golf, of course. Like, sure. I think. I'm not a guy like a golfer who's like, oh, I want to go to the PGA. Like I'm 28. I think that ship has sailed. Maybe, who knows? Maybe in 5 years or 10 years I could get good enough to do something like that. That'd be awesome. I do obviously like. I try to watch golf as much as I can because it'll be on like every weekend, and I'll do it on as a pastime. When it comes to the majors, I'm locked in. I'm watching all of them. Like I'll watch the Masters from Thursday to Sunday, and just follow along and everything. So. There's certain golfers that I love watching more. Scotty Scheffler, obviously like the bigger guys. That's clear. But I also I think I would sometimes rather watch like YouTube golf, like creators.
Really?
Yeah, because to me it's like, oh man, like it's the number one golfer in the world playing like the number one golfer in the world is entertaining. Like you watch what he does, I'm like, how does he freaking do that? Yeah. But the content creators who are not like that level doing stuff really good, like, like Good and the Bryan Bros and Grant Horvat, and they're thinking of new ways to entertain people on YouTube rather than just golf. I think that's really entertaining. So I'll watch, dude. I watched a 5-hour video of YouTube golf like last week or a couple weeks ago, and most people are like, "Why is this video so long?" I was like, "I don't care. We're gonna watch it." And everybody's going to watch it. And millions of people watched it. So It's like a Netflix series almost. You got to watch it across a couple of days. But I was like, I'm so entertained by this. Yeah. Like, I can sit there. And even, like, my wife will get entertained by it. She's like, well, like, why is that happening? Like, there's drama in this. And there's tea in this. And I'm like, yes, like, I'm trying to tell you. This is exciting stuff. And so I think sometimes I'd rather just do that rather than watch an actual, like, tour event,
That's pretty cool, bro. All right. I mean, I think I'm questioned out. And do you have anything else like you want to say or that you were like, oh?
Well, dude, like, I mean, I know you mentioned like earlier, like I think the sole purpose of why I kind of started doing this. So I guess a little backstory of when I started creating content, which I hope can be encouraging to anybody who listens to this. We were living in Memphis, Tennessee, in a tough situation. We were pretty tough financially. My wife couldn't work at the time. She was at home with Gio, and we were, it was like a tight stuff, and it was a hard year. It was a challenging year for us when we lived there. It was definitely like full of trials and just challenges, and thanks to Jesus, and that he just had us. He took care of us. He always took care of us. When we decided to leave Tennessee to move back to Ohio, we were working at a church, and I basically, was like, hey, we want to move back closer to family. We're expecting our second son, and we want to be closer to our family now with 2 kids. And it's going to be easier for us financially and just to have that support from family when we need it. I remember, resigning, talking to our pastor, and he was very understanding. He was like, yeah, man, I totally get it. It's all good. Like, you'll be missed. Let us know if you need anything. That following day, that was a Monday. The following day, I came to work, and Jillian was just not feeling right that day. that same day, you know, I went to work. She calls me, maybe I'm at church for 10 minutes. She calls me and say, hey, we need to go to the hospital. I feel like something's wrong. So we rush over to the hospital. You know, she gets to the back. They start doing ultrasounds and trying to find heartbeats, and we did not find the heartbeat of our son. And my wife was 39 weeks pregnant when we lost our son, Enzo. And so to cap off a very difficult year with something like this happening, dude, there was so many emotions to that thing, to that traumatic time. You know, we were hurt, we were sad, we were angry, we were every kind of emotion. I prayed in that moment that, you know, God would bring breath to my son, and that she still had to go into labor. She still had to deliver a baby because this baby is fully grown, you know. I prayed from the time that they would deliver the baby that I would hear a cry from the baby. I would hear him scream, or I would hear him cry. I'd hear a breath, anything, and that didn't come. And I prayed and prayed, man. I was so full of faith in that, and that would just like, please, God, like, this can't be happening right now. Like, why us? You know, I would ask God, like, why is this happening to us? This year has been so difficult. Like, this has been so hard for us. Like, why would this happen to us? And when it all happened, we were able to sit with our son, you know, for a couple of days, and such a beautiful child. Was so hard because I'm like, this is not fair. Why is my son, like, why is my oldest, why does he not get to have a little brother with him? Why does he not get to be a big brother right now? He'd be such a good brother. Why do we not get to struggle raising 2 kids right now? You know, 2 toddlers under 2. Like, that's not fair, God. Like, why us? And I remember not having a feeling of wanting to give up. You know, I felt this, like, this hurt and this pain, but then eventually I felt this peace to know, like, okay, my son is not with me here. Keep in mind, like, we were in the hospital with our son. Family drove down, was with us. We had so much support at the time. It was incredible how people came together to support us. But we're still in the hospital, and we have to figure out how we're going to bury our son. And we actually can't leave the hospital until funeral arrangements are figured out. So not only am I thinking, like, dealing with what just happened in the last 24 hours, we have social workers coming in asking, like, hey, have you figured out what you're going to do? Are you burying him in Tennessee? Are you going to cremate him? Are you going to bury him in Cincinnati or whatever? I'm like, dude, just get out. Like, get out of my face. Like, I don't want to talk about any of that. I don't want to figure any of that out. Eventually we did. Thankfully, we had help with some local funeral homes here in Cincinnati that helped with all of it, and made the process so sweet and so easy for us in a physical way, obviously not emotional. Sure. We ended up moving back to Cincinnati a couple weeks after that. But the thing for me was, like, man, like, okay, I'm hurt and I'm angry and I'm upset and this isn't fair. But then there was a peace that came over our family, in which we remind ourselves every single time we go to his gravesite, every single time we think about him, when we see pictures of him. We have a peace that was, like, telling us, okay, he did not experience hardship here. He did not experience sin. He did not experience the evil of the world. Nobody hurt him. Nobody broke his heart. Nobody disrespected him. Nobody did anything wrong. The only thing that he ever experienced was the love of his mother through pregnancy. The love that I had for him as a dad. And now he only experiences the love of Jesus in heaven. That's all he knows. And I know one day we'll meet again and we'll see him, and I don't know if he'll be fully grown baby or whatever. He'll just be baby Enzo. You know, his older brother knows him. He talks about him. He knows that he has a baby brother, Zozo, and we go see his grave and all these things. But that time was like, that was the hardest thing we've ever experienced. Yeah. And I think what led to me trying to make content and getting out of the house was not to avoid the hurt and avoid the pain, but I did want something. Like, I think God has used this to, like, as an outlet to bring joy, to us. And we're finding that, like, God can use anything that he wants to bring peace, to bring joy to us, and to restore our hurt, And so we dealt with so much pain and so much hurt. And we still do. We still cry. We still think about him. Last month, or this month, I think the week before the tournament, was 9 months since he passed away. Wow. That was the hardest day that I had to deal with that, just that pain. And I was crying. I was so hurt. But I still think, like, every single time, like, and I think that's encouraged people, that we didn't give up on God. We didn't give up on being around people. We didn't give up on any of this stuff. We just didn't give up. We knew, like, this is not fair, and it's hurtful, and it stinks, but I'm at peace knowing that he's in heaven with Jesus, and that's all he knows. And so eventually it led to, like, I want a way as a creative outlet. I want something to kind of get out and put my mind to. And I think this ended up being that thing where I was like, I don't know if I would ever done that if these things didn't happen. Maybe I would have, but it's just like, I don't know. Sometimes I sit on a golf course and I'm by myself and I pray and I think about all that God has done and how he's healed and how he's restored and how he saved us. And I think about my son. I do think about that. Like, I think about both of my sons. I think about my son that's here, who I wish could see him interact with his little brother. And I think about my son that's in heaven, and I wish that I could also grow both of them to golf and to play sports and all that. Yeah. But I still feel peace about, that hurt and that pain. And so I know we have encouraged people to grow closer to Jesus through this hurt, because we've grown closer to Jesus through it. We've gone closer to God. And there was definitely times where leaving ministry was hard, because I'm like, God, what's my purpose then if I can't preach? What's my purpose if I'm not on a platform, if I'm not building a team, or if I'm not leading a ministry? What's my purpose? And God reminded me, like, you have purpose as a father, as a husband. You have purpose still to teach people about me. You still have purpose to connect with people. You still have purpose to love people. That's your purpose. And so I think everybody's purpose is to worship Jesus, is to worship God, is to know God. But sometimes we just have different assignments at different times. And so right now I hope that, like, God is blessing this, and I think this is the assignment, is to make content that will bring people closer to the Lord, that will connect people through something that they love, like golf. And and I don't know, just continue to build connection and community to people. So
heck yeah. Dude, frick. That's crazy, man. That's hard.
Yeah. It's still hard.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I can't imagine. Like, I'm getting emotional thinking about it, because, I have my two boys.
You're a dad, you're a husband.
I'm like, dude, that would wreck me.
Yeah.
And I can imagine it wrecked you. But, like, looking at God's sovereignty through it has been, I respect you for, for living in that, because you could easily just not.
Yeah.
You could easily walk and live in your pain and live in your hurt, and just allow that to kind of direct you as a person and direct your family. Because as a man, you are the leader of your household. So whatever's flowing out of you is what, they're going to carry on. Mm-hmm. And I'm, glad to see that God has graced you with the ability to see that, see what, what he has already given you, you know, the blessings. And too often at times that too many of us forget, like, you're here right now. The fact that you're here means that you are still blessed.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fact that you are, like, we're having this conversation means that there's more, that you are already blessed with so much. Mm-hmm. And too often we forget those things. Even, like you said, the ability that your kid didn't have to live any of those tragedies.
Absolutely.
He didn't have to, and he's now with Jesus, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you would love to have him here. But,
yeah, of course.
But, dude, that's powerful, man. And I'm glad to hear that you're on the other side of, wanting to see how can you make the change and how can you make the impact that God has placed you here for.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And, like, also, you're unintentionally becoming an influencer, you know. It's just like intentionally, unintentionally.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're like, I'm gonna go all out, you know, I'm doing it. And it's cool to see that that content creator aspect, like how you're doing it, because you are becoming proficient at it. You know, you said you posted 90 times in a month.
And I know people that do more than that.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, but people think that they want to do it until they get to it, and then they're like, I'm just gonna do once a day for a week and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And they see no fruit from that.
Yeah.
You posted 90 days, 90 times in a month. Like, what was the fruit that you saw from that? And did that fruit motivate you to do more?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, for example, I went and golfed. I played 18 holes yesterday, and I shot, you know, content there. I can make 6 videos out of that, you know, multiple videos out of that. And I posted 2 yesterday from it. I was making content, like I would make one thing for a specific video. And my idea was like, okay, well, let's say like I had the trash can challenge thing. I have one video from this that I'll put over here and I'll post it at this time. I then have a joke in the back of my head that I can post right here at this time. And then I have maybe a second one that I can do over here at this time in the night. And so I was just like, but I was literally posting at like 12, 6, 9, I think, or like 9, 12, 6 or something like that at some kind of hourly range or whatever. Now I'm like, that's what I think about. I was like, okay, if I'm going to go play. Now, I don't want to be somebody that's like, every time I go golf, I have to shoot content. Because there's times where I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I just want to play. I just want to hang out with friends. And I don't want to bother anybody with that either. But you have to think about it in that way. Like, again, like I don't have 1 million followers, all this stuff like that. I'm not in the place where somebody's posting content for me. That's where like the hardest thing is that I have to do it all on my own.
Yeah.
And people who want to make content, they get so like done with it so quickly is because they realize editing is annoying and making the video is annoying. And you know this because of all the stuff that you do. Like, it takes time and nobody's doing it for you yet. And so these guys who have thousands and thousands of followers, millions of followers on every social media and YouTube, they just go out there and do the thing. Now, some of them even still edit their own videos, which is like crazy because they do it and then they have to edit themselves. I'm not in that place yet. I do want to eventually get to that place where I can give somebody a job or something and where they can shoot and they can edit. And, you know, I kind of do the fun side for me. But the fun side for them is editing, is shooting. And so, but right now I got to do it all on my own. I have a little tiny DJI camera that I shoot on my phone, and I try to do the best with that. And, but eventually, like, maybe I do get a better camera. I find somebody that can help me. But right now, it just takes time and it just takes effort. Like, I don't think literally, people say it all the time, there's no overnight sensation. Some people just have a video that blows up and then they get followers. But think about how much they probably were posting before that. Like, some people post hundreds and hundreds of videos before finally they get the following that could help them out. So
it's crazy that you say that. I was on TikTok and some random AI, it looked like an AI chick, but then I looked at her profile. I was like, oh, she's a real person. This pretty little redhead girl was just talking about, I think, the World Cup or something else that was kind of relevant to the time, and had like a couple 100,000 views. I was like, oh, okay, let me see her stuff. And then I scrolled down her page and I just kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And I was like, she must have posted like 2,000 times. And some videos, 100 views, 1,000 views, 10 views, and just kept going. And then she had videos like 1 million views, 2 million views, 500,000 views, 400,000 views. But I'm like, holy crap, dude, she's got to post so many times.
Yes, dude.
And she still maybe only had like 5,000 followers. That's crazy. I was like, that's crazy.
You need like retention.
Yes.
I posted videos that, they get 3 million, and someone's like, dude, you got 3 million views. It's like, yeah, but you know, I got like 5 followers from it. I'm like, that sucks. Like, that hurt. So, like, I have to learn, like, again, you have to give something to people that they're going to want to come back and watch again. It's like, oh, yeah, like, you post funny memes, like, or videos of golf. But it's like, is it worth following? You know, to see every day? Like, is it always going to be funny? Probably not. Maybe not to you or to somebody else, or to me, it might be. But even sometimes I'll post something, I was like, it's not even that funny. Sometimes I've posted stuff and I'm like, dude, I just need to get content out, which sucks. It's like, it's not the way to do it, I don't think. I think sometimes you do need to, like, have quality, but you have to have both. You have to have quality and quantity stuff, because if you just post to post, like, that stuff just won't get out. And again, people probably just get annoyed by it.
Yeah. Well, Guru, thank you. No, bro, it's been fun.
Thank you for having me,
Thank you
bro.
for sharing that. That portion about your son. I knew about it. I just didn't want to didn't know if it was a space to ask you.
No,
So
of
I
course.
appreciate you sharing that. And then, it's part of your testimony. It's part of your life. And I thank you for what you're doing in the golf space, what you're doing with, content. And I just think it's inspiring. You're 28 years old. You've not been doing this for a very long time, but you see the potential of where it can go and how many people you can impact to it, which is amazing. And it inspires me. I'm 35 years old. I do content for businesses for a living, to do more now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap, if you're like, feel like you're just scratching the surface and you did that much. And I'm like, frick, I post like 1 or 2 times a week. And I'm like, sometimes I'm tapped, but it's because of the workload I have. But
Of course.
I know
You do a lot.
I know exactly. I know that to get to that next level, it's going to take more. So thank you for being so inspirational. And I hope this helps anybody else that's watching that wants to, get to a place where you can do content more. It's going to take for you to do more from his personal experience, and also I've seen success with some of the businesses I've worked with when we put out more content. One, it just helps just for you to get more in front of more people. And the less that you post, the less opportunity you have to be in front of more people. For your business specifically, if that's something you're trying to do is have more reach, the only way it's going to happen is if more eyes see you and more eyes see you. And if you're not doing more, then you're not going to see it. But again, this was an awesome, awesome time with, Josh and everything he's doing with Messy Golfer.
Messy Golfer is the one. Yeah. There's actually, it's kind of crazy. There actually is somebody, he has a similar last name to me, and his thing is also Messy Golfer. So I was like, or Messy Golf, I think it is. And I'm like, he just followed me on Instagram, and I was like, oh, this is going to be awkward. When one of us gets a little bit bigger here. Messy Golfer. Instagram, TikTok. I don't really post as much on YouTube as I should. I haven't posted there in a while, but eventually we want to get to long form.
Yep.
And like I said, man, I want to golf with some cool people, and I think some things will be coming up here pretty soon. And man, I do appreciate you having me and just letting me talk your ear off.
Dude, I love it. I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
And hope to do this again in
Absolutely.
a couple months or years.
Whatever you want. I'm open.
Do it again.
Let's do it, dude.
Absolutely, bro. Thank you. All right. That's it.